Hello and welcome. Have you ever wondered how to bring positive energy into your home? If your home possesses that energy already, deep in our hearts, we probably know. But I also want to show you the ancient system of Feng Shui to analyze your home from a different perspective. Feng Shui is this missing link to our interior design discussions today that can add this beautiful extra layer of positive energy and energies that speak to your hopes and dreams and help you manifest that. Really good stuff. We're going to do that by looking through my old archive of magazines, one of my favorites, Domino magazine from 2012. It was a summer edition and was supposed to be on display until July 16th. Now, Domino doesn't print magazines anymore, but you definitely can find them on Pinterest. And truly a good place to go for non-AI generated interior design. I also have some interior design related Pinterest boards. There's a link below. Because I've been collecting some of those images for so long, they are not AI, and I have tried to weed the other ones out. So let's get going. Oh yeah. Hi, my name's Erica Meyer, and I'm an architect who is obsessed with Feng Shui. Feng Shui is all about bringing positive energy into your home. And one way that you can analyze your home is by understanding the 5 elements, or I like to think about them as the 5 different energies. And you even have your own personal energy. So these energies are earth, which is grounding, heavy, neutral energy, very stable, so you can build a strong foundation. And it's represented by the whole array of earth tones. And the texture is rough, and a symbolism is square. The next energy is water, and water is another deep, heavy energy that flows down. And it is represented by dark blues and blacks and wavy lines. Then we go on to fire energy. It's the opposite on our 9-square grid, the Bagua. That fire energy is passionate, consuming, and radiating. It is represented by all bright colors in the reds, yellows, oranges, pinks, any of that vibrant energy. The pattern is triangles. Next in our Bagua, the 9-square grid, to the east side, where the east and the southeast are the areas of growth. And that growth energy is vertical. So there we get our vertical stripes in wallpaper and fill them with beautiful greens and light blues to represent growth. And then finally, we go to the metal energy, the metal element, which is in the west and northwest. And the metal energy is concise, concentrated, strategic, and shiny, of course, and is represented by circles. So let's dive into this magazine today and find out how we balance these energies and bring in positivity to your home. So let's go. Look at this cute puppy. All right. This paper is, it's such good paper. Nice, heavy quality. And this particular issue jumps right into the makeover manual. And here we can see that this is a really nicely balanced public space with books, which create lots of energy, the wood shelves, the green putty color on the wall. And then let's move on to this side of the page where paint something. If you need that pop of color for that, just a little bit of your 60-30-10 rule, paint it. Now this space, there's definitely sunlight coming in. It's really heavy in white and black and gray. So that's the water and metal energy. So what we need really is some more earth and maybe a jute rug underneath. I personally hate jute rugs, but maybe a nice neutral tone underneath. Maybe change out the table to a wood table to balance that. Back in 2012, we bought white chairs like this, and it was a big, big mistake because we forgot that we would be starting a family, and they're all dirty. I ended up getting rid of them. Now, prickly cactuses are not good Feng Shui because you want cuddly. If you like succulents, there are more cuddly succulents out there. This is an interesting staircase, bright red, lots of passion. And then on this side of the page, we've got the horizontal earthy tones, black and flowing patterns there, really neat and organic. Paper in the closet. In my last video, I talked about paper on doors, which is an interesting idea and maybe okay. You just want to consider how much it's getting moved and banged up on the back of this closet. How to bring positive energy into your home. So for this particular one, they need more plants. they need more greenery, and then potentially, a multicolor rug underneath to just give it that balance into your space. That would make this a little bit more positive and happy. Cute little homes. Okay, so now positive energy, maybe a great piece of artwork for this young family at some point, but really nice balance of wood and water and metal. Just need a little jazzy jazz up there. Oh, like this fun, look at that fun acrylic. I guess acrylic was big in 2012. Porch, this beautiful, now outdoors, use our green space. That counts. Maybe just a little fun, a pop of color there. And it doesn't have to be, the brightest red or the pinkest pink. It's the pop of color that speaks to your heart and soul. Choose the correct fire element that speaks to you. And if you go too far, just enjoy the process and go ahead and correct it. Now, this is interesting. They paint out this air conditioning unit here, but then they leave this white door. If you were to paint out the door and the switch plate, you can't put anything over the top of it, so you make it pop. Now, this space, it just feels too white. You need to live in these spaces a little bit to find out what works best for you. But on first impression, I love the chairs, but something more needs to ground this space. So a darker carpet underneath, perhaps. And then, these are super fun tiles. Now these tiles, because they're square, they're earth. The orange is fire, and also the angles to it. And then we have just a little pop. It also has the metal. So what an inviting, beautiful tile to use. Here we have an earth pattern in our floor once again. Using these geometrics, plaids or checkerboards for flooring reinforces that grounding energy of the space. Little pop of energy. This is an odd collection. Keep your collections in a public place for display and conversation with your friends. These are splints. So having splints in your bedroom would just remind you of injury, and that kind of energy we want to avoid in a bedroom space. Cute little Jonathan Adler, right? Yeah, Jonathan Adler. Objects are often a combination of material energies. So plaids are earthy by nature, by their geometry, by their pattern, but then the colors that are in the plaid evoke different energies to them. So earthy energies, water energy, a little bit of growth energy. I forgot where this picture was. If you need kind of a discrete picture for the southwest sector of your home, where is love and relationships, this wine glass / kiss, what a fun little piece to put in your dining space to remind you of your relationships growing and developing. All right, here we go. Some more inspirations. Look at these lovely pops of red. This feels immediately really nicely balanced. And perhaps it's this light blue, gray on this side of the page. Nicely done, nicely arranged. This pop of red pop. Again, and what's missing on this one is plants. Oh, it's pretty blue. Here are the plants. Maybe these are on the flip side of the room. It looks like a loft space and concrete floors. So we're getting a nice mix of materials in there. What I don't see is lighting. So lighting could be that other fire element at night. The opportunity to pop and balance that energy and bring positive energy into this space. Yeah, that positive energy is often joy and growth. Now, Wake Up the Bed is this particular article, and it is heavy into lots of color. And in the bedroom is where you do not want lots of color. If you have a bedspread or fun pillows that you want to use in a bedroom situation, put it in the guest bedroom. So when you're walking by, you see it, that joy. And most of the time, at least in our house, our guest bedroom is not often filled. But for your own bedroom where you are sleeping every day, you're spending a third of your life quiet and sleeping, you want very calm energy. Most of our day is filled with lots of energy. Go very neutral, very subdued, but warm. Go for the warmer pinks versus light blues. That energy can be heavy and depressing. So positive energy in the bedroom, in your primary bedroom, the pink of your choice. But blacks and whites, that's a lot going on. Has my cat joined? That's Tilly. All right, let's see what's going on in this magazine. Lots of white. Okay, so we need plants, we need patterns, we need baby butts. I don't know, that's a little odd, but that must be their children. Children bring so much energy and joy that, this gray is nice and subdued and warm. That cat. Hey, like and subscribe if you like my cat. We'll see if we can get her to cooperate in the future. Here we go. Is a nice, very subdued white bedroom with warmer whites. It hopefully glows at night in a warm tones. And, the photographer added this dirty laundry, a little pop of color. Now you don't want to add plants, but maybe a richer, like a more textured bedspread. It's hard to judge because we don't know what's going on in the rest of the room too. They might have a big heavy wood dresser that's gorgeous, or it's hard to say. They could also add subtle patterns with the sheets too. So there we go, adding a little bit more positive energy into the space and into your outdoor spaces. In the outdoors, number one thing, weed. Keep up with all of those weeds and the bunnies. And here again, now we have our natural green growth and the color gray representing metal and those concise energies, and then having a little bit of passion with the flowers here. So we see these flowers, and once they're not in bloom, bring in other pops of color. The kitchen. Remember, this magazine is from 2012. We have been adding more color. Well, they do have little pops of color here, but one of the quick way to bring positive energy into your kitchen area is to add a pop of red. Bring in a flame orange red, what is it called? A tea kettle. Let's see, they've got a little pop of red here and within these tiles. Oh, what's there? A bowl of oranges? Nope, somewhere in this magazine we've got a bowl of oranges. Vibrant greens to bring in that growth energy. These objects are symbols of having that passion, the positive energy in your home. If you go too far, the energy can be overwhelming or maddening. Make sure you're always moving towards joy. And for each one of us, that joy is sparked by different objects in different combinations. So just enjoy the curating and collecting. Here we go. If I just waited, there's the bowl of oranges, bowl of greens, pretty blue tiles. Now, I don't know if a cow walking into your home is a positive energy, but it is a great photo in this spread. Meet the neighbors. Hilarious. Very white, a little bit more texture could be added, and plants. Adding just a happy plant here. We've got nice energy from the books. Keep your books in public spaces, not your bedroom, because that is a lot of energy. So if you want to sleep better tonight and you have a ton of books in your bedroom, just put them in the hall and feel the difference of all of those books somewhere else. Okay, cute space. This is an incredible before and after transformation. Love the symmetry of this. What a transformation. Nice subtle green here that they use in both of these rooms. Great little plaid. Perhaps this bedroom is in the southeast, so they really want to use colors that speak to that anchor element of growth in the southeast, but they're doing it very nice and subtle. And they've got a little pop of red, and potentially doing a table lamp that is bigger and soft rather than this metal arm. Bring in some curvy side lights. Now, in your office space, go for the energy. Now, this pattern I think is personally too much. And another element of Feng Shui for office spaces is you need to have a strong wall behind you. So I would recommend that person turn their desk around so they have the solid wall behind them and they can see the door and the windows beyond. If that pattern speaks to you, go for it. That would be too much for me visually. It would be too distracting for me in my work life. Now check this out. Headphones used to have cords. What? I love this room and board desk with that pop of color. It's a metal desk. We have a room and board console table in our home. I love it. It patinas over time and lots of, this is a well balanced. I feel like I see, what I don't see is too much brown. So, the court could be a little bit more perhaps. Hey Paige, is that the desk you had? It's great. These homes, because they made it into a magazine, they have a lot of positive, beautiful energy. What feels like is missing is that the fire element. But when these lamps are illuminated at night, that might be that fire element. And of course, we don't know what's going on the other side of the room, but we've got growth from the pattern. Mirrors create lots of great energy in a space, which is good for public areas. This is a beautiful, calming, because of the blues, entrance way. Look at you, cutie patootie dog. If this is an apartment in an urban setting, transitioning from that chaotic outside to cool off here and then move on to the rest of your home, that might be just the right piece. This one feels very nice, pretty balanced, heavy on the earthy tones. Did you read all those books? Books create a lot of energy, a lot of mental load, and having them, especially above your bed, don't want them to fall on you. And these lamps, I'm not a fan of the articulating lamps over your bed. I prefer a larger, heavy, glowing lamp in a soft shade. They don't have the room. If they took out the bookcase, they might. Now, flowers always bring in a pop of positive energy. So after this video, go Get yourself some flowers and instant positive energy in any room. Just be sure to throw them out once they've lived their time in your home. Beautiful, bright spaces with tons of sunlight. Sunlight is positive energy. Really beautiful space. This is why I've kept these magazines for so many years too. It is just lovely to go slow and take in all of the different details, and then you can go back to it. You can give a lot of information in shorts of today, the whole process of how this room came to be, but then it's gone. And with printed material that you can just then go back in and, oh wait, I didn't see this detail. I didn't see that detail. You can just go a little bit slower and return. So bring back magazines. All right, into the bathroom. That's an interesting piece of artwork for the bathroom. Interesting choice. I'm just gonna leave it at that. There's a story. In my years of working in hotels, that's always the good story in the room. What does that mean? Before I judge, tell me all about it. Mirrors are a ton of energy. See all the bouncing all that light around? It might be perfect and appropriate for the people, the direction of where this sits in the home. If it's on the northern side of the home, it might, in the winter months, get zero light. So having all of these beautiful mirrors might be the perfect solution. And it's also energy efficient. So that's kind of nice too. That's positive energy right there. Another pretty bathroom. This is probably there for staging, I would think, and hopefully would sit closer to a window, and then you can see in through. That's intriguing. What is beyond there? And I want to go there. Now this is a very soft, subdued image here. Nice symmetry with the two lamps. So if this is in the Southwest and you are looking to find love or enhance or just deepen the love with your partner, things of two, things of growth, things of a little bit of passion, that's lovely. Nicely done. She's a funny character. Please tell me more about her. The colors are lovely too. Very subdued kitchen area, heavy in that earth energy. So bring positive energy. Well, we've got flowers, a little bit of green and growth, or a little, pops of blue perhaps, which maybe they have it already with the tableware that they use, right? So be careful how we judge. Nice, subdued, again, this is a very calm home. And I think this home is on the Hudson River. So these people might be in New York City during the day in that fast, crazy pace, and this is exactly what they need. Or their annual element might be fire or growth, and they just need a very calm space, very subdued for who they are and where they are during the day. So this is lovely. The perfect paint palette for any room. Gray 2012, right? So no surprise there. And we need greens and blues. We need some growth and a little bit of fire there. Oftentimes you can add fire and passion by patterns. You can kind of keep it in a neutral tone and then mix it up with the patterns and textures. Here's some beautiful colors of the day. Colors are quite eternal. You get them into the right part of your home. Hague blue, such a beautiful color. Dusk. Maybe this is what I need downstairs. All right, and then the last few pages are just the old school sourcing of how magazines would give you reference, and you could then, sometimes they do have, they did have a .com in 2012. Some of those older magazines, they actually had phone numbers. So there we go, the spring and summer edition of Domino magazine from 2012. I hope this gave you some ideas for putting a little positive energy into your home using the Feng Shui 5 elemental energies. See you. Check out some other videos that I've done on directions of your home and those energies. Keep growing, keep curious. See you next time.